Okay. Hi everyone. So it's a great pleasure for me to present you our work in Madagascar. So the title of our research there is the impact of land uses change on hydrological ecosystem services, communicating the fact for sustainable land use. So I will tell you a nice story about water today, because you know water is the most important resource for everyone. So my name is Maafaka. I was involved in this research in Madagascar in hydrology, with the hydrology team. So this is my colleagues here and in Madagascar as well. So I will present you in 5 sections. So on the first, I will present the project in a brief way and the context in Madagascar, and I will spend more of my time in the hydrological research, the result, and what we did in Madagascar to engage the community and the policy makers, and I will conclude it in a short way. So this is the area that we carried out our research in the east humid forest of Madagascar. So we can see here that there's 4 zones of interest. So in these 4 zones of interest, we adopted an integrated approach. So it means that the hydrology component, the biodiversity and carbon team work together in the same site across this forest. But for the hydrology, we focus more on this zone of interest too. So in this study, we carried out a study in the 4 types of habitats: forest, tree saft, shrub fallow, and in degraded land, but sometimes in the reforestation site as well. So as we see, the water is very important for us. We can enjoy it with fishing, by washing, and it can provide us as well hydropower. But sometimes the water is provide us like a problem as well, like flooding, as we see, and it's qualified like ecosystem disservices, as our presenter said earlier. At the level local and in regional, if there is a lot of water, it's not good for the rice production. If it's too little water, it's always a problem as well. So too much or too little water gives the problem especially for the farmers in Madagascar. So we can see here this landscape. So what's happening in this mountain ultimately affect the downhill area in terms of stream flow. It might damage the crops, as I said earlier. So what is the objective of this project with the hydrology? So it's to determine hydrological impact of land use changes on dry season flow. Because why? Most of the time during the dry season, there is small water, so the farmers struggle how to grow the rice, and that's the best option for us. We try to find out what is the best intervention in terms of land use, so that the farmers can harvest twice a year in this area. So we have 2 hypotheses here. In this first hypothesis, land degradation leads to more surface runoff, higher peak flows, and lower dry season flows. In the first figure, you can see that the farmers are not happy because during the dry season there is not enough water. Because why? There are more runoff in this degraded land, and in this part there is, in the water land use, there are more evapotranspiration and less runoff. So the peak of the stream flow is much lower, and there's much water during the dry season. And this second hypothesis is the reforestation site can restore the hydrological functioning in the degraded land. So this is the main part of our study in this area. So we did infiltration in surface and in deep surface. We did as well the experiment that I will explain you later on, and we dig it after. So this result shows us that the infiltrability in this 4 type of land use is very different. So you can see here that the land in the degraded land, the infiltrability is very low. It means that the infiltration is not very fast, so more because of the compaction of the land. But in the closed canopy forest or in the forest, it's very high. So you can see the difference is very, very big, the difference, the infiltrability. So this is the experiment that we did there. It consists of spraying the water in 1 meter square. It's we color the water with powder, blue powder. It's non-toxic. So we spray it during 2 hours, and the following day we excavate it to see how the water flow in the soil. So we can see here in this land use in the forest, the water goes deeper and more spread because of the presence of roots and presence of earthworm. But in this degraded land, there is more, the water just stop here. Some goes deeper, but it takes a long time for the water to go because of the compaction of the soil. So it shows us as well that there is more runoff in this part because the water doesn't flow very fast in this type of land use. This is as well part of our research. We did measurement of precipitation every day in this area, interception, transpiration, and surface runoff every day. And we try to measure as well the quantity of soil moisture and in the groundwater. In this part, we measure it every day as well. And we collect the data by automatically with the computer. So in this site, it's very equipped. So there is many sensors in this part, like for temperature, for humidity of wind, for the speed of wind, and we have solar panel to supply the power for this data logger, which collect automatically all the data. This is our runoff. So when it rains, the water goes into this drum. So our local workers empty it every day to measure the amount of water every day during the precipitation. So this slide shows us the amount of rainfall and amount of the surface runoff in this area. So you see here that there's a lot of runoff in this part, and in the reforestation site and closed canopy forest, there is less runoff, only 2% for both sites. But we focused on this closed canopy because in this part we measure as well the evapotranspiration, and the water just goes through the leaves, the canopy, and we collect it every day. So we can see this collector, it collects all the water through these leaves and branches to estimate the water. This is the result of the fruitfall. So in degraded land, 100% of the precipitation goes directly to reach the soil. But for these 2 sites, there is interception, so only 82% roughly reach the soil and the rest goes back into the atmosphere. So I will give you just a quick recap about what we did in terms of result. So we saw that infiltration rate is very low in degraded land, and it increased gradually up to the till the forest. And the surface runoff is very high in degraded land, and it's very low in the reforestation site. And the difference in interception loss between forest and reforestation site is very small. So it gives us an idea that reforestation site can restore, apparently, the hydrological functioning in this area. So I will present you some one short video that we did in Madagascar to show what we did there and what our local workers observed. It's in the east of Madagascar. We have 8 local workers in this area, so they measure it every day. This is the runoff plot. The good thing is that our local workers understand very well now how it works, what is the result of our research. So we will always have a record all of the data by computer, and we measure it manually and also with the computer. And those local workers can compare that the local workers in the forest, they work less than the local workers in degraded land because there's much more runoff in the degraded land than in closed canopy. So it's just so it's so that our staple food is rice, so it's really matter for us the rice. Yeah. So coming back to my presentation, so we have all of the results, but how we communicate it to the local community. So from the beginning of the project, we try to have a good relationship with the local association there. So we make a leaflet to them what we are going to do for this project, and we recruited local workers in this area recommended by this local association. So we give them like a kind of deep training in this project, and we encourage as well their feedback about what we did and what we are doing in this area. So when the community are aware of what is going on in this project, so we try to help them to make a good decision in terms of land use. And we promote that our local workers having the skill and know the result, how it works, and those local workers can communicate with their neighbor and their around them in the local community, because we are still considered as external people for this local community. So those local workers can spread the result, disseminate it, and discuss with their neighbor, because they have the same language, some perception, and some status. But it's not enough to engage only the community local. We engage as well the policy makers in this area. So we organized in this year 2 times an event to invite them to visit our site to see how we measure all of these components of water. And this event was covered by media to disseminate the result and to show them that we are doing interesting research in this area. And we encourage as well the participation and feedback of those policy makers. So in conclusion, we are convinced that empowering the communities can make a big difference, because before recommendation, they are aware of the result of research, and we are convinced that it's not ethical to do a research in one area without telling the local community what's going on, what is the main result of this research. And the next step of this research is to promote those local workers, as I said earlier, to do like a restitution. So they will invite the local community in this area for the presentation and bring them to the site to visit, and to make a comment and give feedback. So this is the end of my presentation. So I would like to thank give thanks to our local workers, because without them we could not finish this study. Their commitment, they have to keep safe our equipment there. And thanks as well for the local association in this area who give us the land for this experimentation, and the Center of Research in Antananarivo who help us in terms of logistics and everything. So thank you so much for your attention.
Thanks, Maafaka. That was beautifully clear. Really nice to see the experimental method and the engagement of the community who can validate all of this. Wonderful. Comments? I'll start at the back. Comments and thoughts. 5 minutes behind, but then I know you guys are more interested in demolishing this than eating anything. When I say demolishing, I mean devouring.
Thank you very much. I'm Wouter Buitenhuis from Imperial College here in London. Great presentation, some very interesting hydrological data. But so one of your hypotheses is that reforestation increases base flow, which hydrologically is very contested, because very often it's the case, but also very often the increase of evapotranspiration of the forest decreases or surpasses the increase in infiltration. And with the data that you've shown, you haven't actually really shown that effectively the reforestation increases base flow. Have you any other data, and particularly thought about measuring stream flow directly to provide further evidence that your hypothesis is effectively correct?
We'll just take a couple of questions, Maafaka. Thanks very much for that. Yeah, one more.
You have shown the container that if you have a downflow of water, it will take the drainage, it will drain into one container. Assuming the container is filled up, what happens then to water?
Can you repeat, please? I don't.
In the experiment you shown, you have a container, one big container, that the drainage water will enter. Yeah. Assuming the water is filled up in the container, what happens to the measurement of the remaining water? Secondly, since you are talking about rice, and I will assume that you also need to have some measurement of water use by rice, because although this measurement cannot tell us what if there is anything water use by rice or water use efficiency by rice. Thank you.
Thanks. Quick comment from Paolo, then that's it.
Just very briefly, thank you for the work that you show, but I suggest you and invite you to visit the work of the World Bank on waves. Madagascar is one of the pilot countries, and we did a very interesting work on the use of water, and also water for rice, and how the choice of rice cultures can be chosen, can be derived from the need of water. And there's some rice species that not need to be constant flooded. So you can, from the policy perspective, tackle the problem in a different way.
Yes, if we know the flows, we can match the rice to suit. Anyway, yeah, there's obviously lots of site specificities, but quick answers?
Yeah. For the reforestation site, we have a lot of data. I didn't show all of the data because the real message is just to communicate the basic knowledge about water. But for the reforestation site, of course, it's not really, there's like one result show that the real evidence that the reforestation site can always restore. It's not always, but it depends on the species, on the land use. Because there is some species like a reforestation site, but it sucks a lot of water. So it doesn't give always the same result. In some part, yes, but in other area with different species, it's not always the same. So sometimes it gives controversial result as well. Yeah. And for the drums, you see the local workers took something from the drum. It's automatically. So it's record all of the data every day. That's why sometimes when it has a problem, because technology sometimes has a problem, the local workers as well measure it. So we compare all the time. Yeah, but they empty the drum every day at 9 o'clock every day. So sometimes they empty it twice to have all of the data more accurately. And the drums is already calibrated. So we have more or less the same measure every day. And for the rice, the use of water, of course we have data, but it's not in this research. So there's the rice, it depends on the species. There's species like it doesn't need a lot of water. So like in the slash and burn, the people grow rice with the resistant rice who doesn't need a lot of water. But this specific rice, like you can see here, they need a lot of water.
Thanks, Maafaka. I mean, what I like about this is it really helps a policy discussion. You know, too little water is not good for livelihoods. Too much is bad for livelihoods as well. So it allows discussion of what quantity, what timing, what quality, you know, what reliability, and you're starting to bring facts to that for something that's a really important system for Madagascar. So thanks again, Maafaka.